An emotional visit to the site where it all began. The brother of George Floyd at a makeshift memorial where a white Minneapolis police officer kneeled on his brother's neck, calling for calm and peace in the wake of widespread unrest that has unfolded since Floyd's death.
Let's switch it up, y'all. Let's switch it up.
Yes. Amen.
Do this peacefully, please.
With U.S. cities in flames following the most widespread protest over police brutality and racism in decades, demonstrators worry their calls for justice are being drowned out by the violence.
George Floyd was killed like an animal, and we're tired. This is the norm. This is not something that's new. It's actually something that's been going on. It's been happening. And we're here just to say that we're tired of this.
The rallies are made up mainly of peaceful demonstrators who greatly outnumber those who want to instigate violence. Yet a number of protests have descended into chaos, usually after sunset, with looting and vandalism. But most demonstrations across the nation have been peaceful, diverse, and unifying.
Black people in this country have never had equal protection under the law. Never. When my adult children go out in the street wearing a hoodie, I don't have any fear for them. But every mother here fears for her children if they're black children, if they're black men in particular. It is wrong, it is unjust.
Instead of resorting to violence, many protesters are instead finding ways to advance the cause of racial justice, like Matt Manning, a Texas attorney who is offering pro bono services to arrested protesters. He wants his sons to see how he used his skills to support the movement.
If you look at the civil rights movement, people did for the movement what they had the best capacity to do. Some people were feeding everybody as they were planning the movement because their contribution was being able to cook for the movement. Other people, preached. Other people did a number of things. And the capacity I serve in as an attorney, I want to make sure that when my days are done, I know I did everything I could to help people.
Others are leaning on their faith.
A time to hope.
Writer Christina Mpkosowa is calling on her multicultural church congregation to action.
As a believer, really grieves me the most is that in a nation that claims to be Christian, that these things really misrepresent God's character. And, I have 2 Black boys. And one of the very first things that I taught them about who God is that he is just.
But as nonviolent protesters struggle to reclaim the message of these rallies, many say decades of oppression and frustration has led to this violent moment in American history.
A lot of the issues we see are systemic. These are compounded issues: educational system, the housing system, criminal justice, the disparate outcomes for Black and brown people in this country that have existed since the inception of this country.
Systemic issues that will take time to be resolved. Meanwhile, critics say the image of law enforcement breaking up a peaceful rally outside the White House so that Trump could walk to a church will do nothing to help a community seeking justice and healing. Jesus Meoni, VOA News, Washington.